Hello everyone, I'm Drachona. Just letting you know right off the bat, this is completely unscripted. I just wanted to give my thoughts on this whole thing because I don't even really know how to describe it. It's hilarious and scary at the same time. It's scarelarious. I promise that's unscripted. So anyway, a lot of you may know that Donald Trump is now president. And a lot of you may also know that a significant portion of our country, a bunch of people, have been shitting their pants since learning that. And it's truly frightening. So I am on Facebook. I'm not on Twitter. I really don't see a whole lot of benefit for being on Twitter. So I've been on Facebook and I've seen all kinds of people, including my friends, saying all kinds of shit that I can't even believe. I understand. I mean, my friends who are homosexual, my friends who are trans, I understand their fear and their anger, but the response still is not justified. It's stupid, honestly. I'm sorry. They're my friends, but it's ridiculous. They're promoting violence. They're talking about having weapons and learning how to fight, and it's like, you're acting like it's freaking Mad Max. It's literally not the end of the world. Does it suck? Yeah, but it's literally not the end of the world. I mean, people who think that just because Trump is president and because Republicans have, I know that probably a lot of Republicans, and it's already kind of started to happen, Republicans are kind of switching their loyalties. Now that he's president, of course, they're on his side. But I'm sure there are still tons of Republicans who aren't on his side. It's not like Republicans are a monolith, and since they have a decent amount of control, but they still don't control all of the government. There are still Democrats. It's not like they have no power whatsoever. But they think, oh, Donald Trump is president, boom, Third Reich, like he's even really comparable to Hitler. I've seen people make comparisons, but it's like, just in personality, he's not like Hitler. He didn't write Mein Kampf or anything like it. He didn't write something that was basically a declaration of his racist views. Does he seem racist? Hell yeah. Does he seem misogynist? Hell yeah. To me, he just seems like a reality show host, or personality, whatever, who's a complete goof and a dumbass. Now, there are certain things, when I see him sometimes behind the scenes, it's like, what are you playing at? It seems like maybe he's a different person behind the scenes. Not necessarily a better person, but maybe smarter than we give him credit. And that could be good or bad. He could play it straight, kind of like he did at his acceptance speech, or he could end up being kind of a dangerous person. I don't know. But here's the thing. I'm not going to jump to conclusions like so many other people have done. People think, oh my God, he's elected, therefore, boom, automatic Nazis. Like just right out of nowhere, they're gonna round up the gays and they're gonna round up the blacks and the Hispanics and just kill them all, I guess. I mean, it's really stupid. But the point that I want to get across is, do not jump to conclusions with this kind of thing. Do not assume that the world is going to end before it truly does, because you can end up causing it. If you promote hatred and violence, guess what? You're going to get hatred and violence right back at you. That's the way that shit works. You can't go out and start riots because things didn't go your way and think that things are going to end up turning out for the better. That's not how that works. If things really do go to shit, by all means, defend yourself. Do something about it. I'll do something about it if things really do go to shit because I have a stake in it. I live here. But don't start a revolution before the revolution starts. You will end up being responsible for everything that happens. You will be the one who starts it off on a violent note. And you'll have no one to blame but yourselves. This is just... I'm truly ashamed of all of these people. I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed for this country just because I know that when other people are looking at us, they look online, they see how all of these people are acting. Not that these people represent this country, but after the election, they kind of did. because those were the loudest voices. Obviously, people who were pro-Trump were just kind of celebrating, and people like me were just shaking their heads. When I first found out that Trump was president, I was just kind of shocked. I actually laughed. I laughed because I was thinking of all the people I knew who were shitting their pants, and for me it was disbelief. A lot of it was disbelief. I woke up thinking, well, I'm sure Hillary's president, and I saw Trump, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, blew my mind. But not literally, but whatever. Well, of course not literally. You know what I mean. It didn't really blow my mind. It wasn't that shocking. They were pretty close throughout the night. But this is really sad for me. And I feel like something that really needs to be said is those who call the storm will get it. And you will be responsible for the chaos that follows. You can't encourage violence and hatred and, like I said, expect things to come out better. You can't expect to have positive change through negative action. Sometimes that's necessary, but only when it's actually necessary. This is not a situation that calls for it. I mean, there are people burning the American flag because of how pissed off they are that Trump became president. Which anymore, that gesture doesn't really mean anything. Because I've seen people burn flags in the name of patriarchy, in the name of just being pissed off at whatever. I mean, it's really doesn't mean anything anymore. It's practically become an expression of a first world problem. Like, my toast is burnt! Burn the flag! My Starbucks coffee is only lukewarm! Burn the flag! It's still a shocking gesture for me for somebody to burn the American flag as if a piece of cloth really represents who's in office. It's supposed to represent us. The idea of flags is already kind of weird to begin with. I have a great tendency to look at things from an outside perspective, so nationality and flags is still kind of weird to me. I get it in terms of group cohesion, but that's the point. The flag is representative of our cohesion as a group, us as a country. So to burn it, it's like when you see the riots where, we're pissed off at cops and the system, so let's go burn a BP gas station where there are no cops and no one representing the system. More like our friends and family who are working shitty jobs just like us, or working good jobs. But the point is you want to be angry and you want to direct your anger at something, or you want to have some sort of symbolic gesture, but you don't actually want to put the hard work into going where you need to go. Like, if people, I'm sure that that's probably happened, I haven't heard anything, people standing in front of the White House and chanting, even though technically Trump isn't there yet, I could understand that, because you're going where it kinda is. But rioting in the streets, you're talking to no one. You're probably talking to people who agree with you, so why are you causing trouble amongst your own friends and neighbors? That makes no sense. And again, why are you burning the American flag, saying, we don't stand for that shit, or, this doesn't represent us? It's like, yes, it does. The American flag is not a brand of the president. It's not a brand of the government. It's a symbol for the people. It's something that is ours, all of ours. So burning it is not even really a gesture that says anything. It's like, by doing that, you are symbolically showing just how your temper tantrum is disruptive, how you are going against group cohesion. You're so pissed at what happened on this level that you want to tear down the entire fucking system, the entire country, tear us all apart and turn us against each other because you don't know how to direct your anger. It's just really stupid and really sad. And I'm very ashamed of all the people who are doing this, because I'm not saying there's no justification to be angry or afraid. Of course, there's justification to be angry and afraid. But there's no justification for these actions. These are just children. People who are mad because things didn't go their way, and it's not like it was a landslide. It was pretty damn close. And I haven't checked the numbers today. Like, I'm sure that at some point they finally finished counting. But I know that when I woke up yesterday morning, yesterday morning, and checked the numbers, that Hillary had actually won the popular vote. I don't know if that's still the case, but I mean, because people were getting pissed at people who said, well, I voted third party, which I did. I mean, I wasn't really for... I wasn't really for Gary Johnson from the beginning. I didn't even know who Gary Johnson was in the beginning. I was for Bernie Sanders. But that didn't work out, and I really didn't want to vote for Hillary, and I definitely didn't want to vote for Trump, but I wanted to vote. There were people who were just saying they weren't going to vote for president. Like, they'd fill out the rest, but they just wouldn't vote for president, and I didn't want to do that. And I thought, okay, I'll vote third party because there really isn't anything wrong with Gary Johnson. I remember when I mentioned that, there were people who were saying, well, what's Aleppo? Like, that's a legitimate fucking criticism. Like, oh, hey, what do you know? A president who's not intimately familiar with Syrian geography. That might indicate something. Maybe he doesn't have any kind of agenda in the Middle East. Or is it better that you are intimately familiar with Syrian geography, suggesting that you might have some kind of agenda in the Middle East? Anyway, I'm rambling on and on. The point is, there's no justification for these actions, at least not yet. And I don't want to say that there's going to be some kind of a revolution. I don't want to say that it's going to get to that point, because if you say those kinds of things, you could end up bringing it about. It's amazing how much people don't realize that mentality can cause reality. You know, people have knocked me before for being sometimes. I mean, I'm generally a realist, but sometimes people knock me for being optimistic. Like, I have a perspective, and they think, well, how can you think that? That's not really realistic. Sometimes you have to be optimistic if you want to get something done. When I was told that I would not be able to finish my master's thesis, that basically I had to pretty much start all over because my attempts at getting actual data, my attempts at getting samples so that I could analyze them fell flat, and I tried to go fully theoretical and it didn't work. I had 1 semester left, my final semester to finish my thesis, and my professors did not think that I could do it. And I did it because I believed that I could, even though it was highly unlikely. I'd been there for 2 years. I mean, that would have been the end of my second year. And they didn't even think that I'd be able to finish it in 2 years. They thought it would take at least 2.5. And especially in my position, where pretty much everything had fallen apart, I still had to get samples and then use a mass spectrometer. So I had to gain access to them. At first I had to gain access to the samples, take them, gain access to a mass spectrometer, analyze them, and then look at them. I mean, figure all that. I had to do pretty much everything from the beginning. I had my resources and I had my theory. But, and this isn't really relevant to what I'm talking about, but the point is, you have to have a positive mindset sometimes to get things done. Sometimes you have to be overly optimistic. You have to kind of have a pipe dream to get things done. You know, because being pessimistic is not really going to get anything done. And that's what this is. These people are being pessimistic. They think, okay, Trump is president, so right off the bat, everything's going to shit. So what do? They riot. And they promote violence and hatred. Self-fulfilling prophecy. I mean, of course things are going to go to shit if you make them go to shit. It's amazing how that works. You know, it's just really, really sad. And I keep saying that, but it's true. And I don't want to keep rambling on about this, because I pretty much said everything I wanted to say. But again, my main point was, those who call the storm will get it. And those who call the storm will be responsible for the chaos that follows. We are obviously responsible for our actions. And this is completely unacceptable. Does it suck? Yeah, clearly I'm not as upset as some other people, but I understand why some people are more upset than me. I just don't see it as the end of the world. I don't even see it as the beginning of some great amount of change, because a president can't just change the entire system and completely ignore checks and balances and the public vote. And if somehow he manages to do that, guess what? There are over 300 million of us. We could do something. Hopefully nonviolent, but if it were necessary, it may have to be violent. But I'm not going to say that it will be, and I'm not going to promote any kind of violence. Because right now it's completely uncalled for. It's fucking stupid. Just take a deep breath. Take the pacifier. Actually, put your pacifier in. And just chill. Okay? I'm not trying to be insulting, but you people are acting like children. So I'm going to treat you like children. I'm running out of descriptive words. The point is, just calm down, and we'll see how this goes. One thing people are forgetting is, you know what, if he's a terrible president, there's a process I've heard of. It was actually used within like the last 50 years. What was it? Impeachment? I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, we still have some power and we still have options that are non-violent. Keep that in mind. Don't jump to stupid symbolic gestures like burning the flag. Don't jump to things like causing riots or going on Facebook and telling people to arm themselves and learn how to fight Tai Chi. Just calm down, shut up for a second, and use your brain that I know you have, and just think. Think, maybe I'm moving too fast. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions. Should I still be afraid? Yeah, that's justified. Should I still be angry? Yeah, that's justified. Maybe I shouldn't act before I even know what's going on. Maybe I shouldn't try to start some kind of revolution before I know whether or not it's even necessary. Anyway, I've rambled on about this too much. I just wanted to get my opinion out there. Obviously, no fancy intro, just the shitty webcam quality. I just wanted to present my thoughts on this whole ridiculous situation. I'm Drachona, and try to have a nice day.